Hare Krishna devotees, welcome to Shloka Day. So today's Shloka is Shloka number 9, but just to remind us of how Krishna is talking about the way he is the essence of everything in this cosmos. So yesterday the Lord gave 5 examples of how he pervades everything. That he is the taste of water, he is the light of the sun and moon. Prabhupada writes that the sun and moon actually get their light from the Brahma Jyoti in the spiritual world. And that the taste of water does not necessarily mean that Krishna is reduced to just being the taste of water. That anything that you taste, that you put in your mouth, you can only taste when it is mixed with your saliva. So without saliva, you cannot taste anything. So any object that you put in your mouth and you want to taste it and relish it, it has to be mixed with saliva for you to relish it. How the syllable Om in the Vedic mantras represent the impersonal feature of the Lord. That he is the sound in ether, and any ability that you see in man. Some people may be very brilliant, some people may be very strong, some people may have very high IQ at a very young age, or may be extremely talented in certain areas in life, in certain arts. Krishna is saying, I am the source of power. So in continuation with that theme, today's Shloka 9, Krishna gives a few more examples of how he pervades everything. Punyo gandhav prithivyam cha tejaschasmi vibhavasau jivanam sarva bhuteshu tapaschasmi tapasvishu. Punyo gandhav prithivyam cha tejaschasmi vibhavasau jivanam sarva bhuteshu tapaschasmi tapasvishu. Punyo gandhav prithivyam cha tejaschasmi vibhavasau jivanam sarva bhuteshu tapaschasmi tapasvishu. Please recite after me. Punyo gandhav prithivyam cha
Punyo gandhav prithivyam cha
tejaschasmi vibhavasau
tejaschasmi vibhavasau
jivanam sarva bhuteshu
jivanam sarvabhuteshu
tapaschasmi tapasvishu.
tapachasmi tapasvishu.
Punyo gandhav prithivyam cha
Punyo gandhav prithivyam cha
tejaschasmi vibhavasau
tejaschasmi vibhavasau
jivanam sarva bhuteshu
jivanam sarvabhuteshu
tapaschasmi tapasvishu.
tapachasmi tapasvishu.
Punyo gandhav prithivyam cha
Punyo gandhav prithivyam cha
tejaschasmi vibhavasau jivanam sarva bhuteshu
jivanam sarvabhuteshu
tapaschasmi tapasvishu.
tapachasmi tapasvishu.
Word for word meaning and translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Punyaha, original.
original
Gandhaha,
Kanda.
Fragrance.
Fragrance.
Prithivyam.
Prithivyam.
In the earth.
In the
Yeah.
earth.
Cha.
Cha.
Also.
Also.
Tejaha.
Teja.
Heat.
Heat.
Cha.
Cha.
Also.
Also.
Asmi.
Asmi.
I
I
am.
am.
Vibhavaso.
Also.
In the fire.
In the fire.
Jivanam.
Jivanam.
Life.
Life.
Sarva.
Sarva.
In all.
In all.
Bhuteshu.
Bhuteshu.
Living entities.
Being entities.
Tapaha.
Tapaha.
Penance. Cha.
Cha.
Also.
Also.
Asmi.
Asmi.
I am.
I am.
Tapasvishu.
Tapasvi.
In those who practice penance.
Those who practice.
Translation. I am the original fragrance of the earth,
I am the original fragrance of the earth.
and I am the heat in fire.
I am the heat in the fire.
I am the life of all that lives,
I am the life of all that lives.
and I am the penance of all ascetics.
And I am the parents of all the exist.
So the Lord is saying, anything fragrant comes from Him. So, for example, the seed of a jasmine tree is not fragrant. The water is generally not considered to have any fragrance. The plant that grows, the leaves on the plant may have a different fragrance, but the actual jasmine has a completely exotic fragrance. So how is it that the fragrance didn't exist in the seed, didn't exist in the water? This fragrance of the jasmine, how is it that it exists only in the jasmine flower, that it does not pervade the entire plant? So this is the beauty of how the Lord pervades everything. So whatever flavor, whatever fragrance there is, all of that original flavor, uncontaminated, which permeates everything, is actually Krishna. So Prabhupada writes, similarly, any particular original taste, of course, taste can be changed with a mixture of chemicals, etc. But the original smell, the original taste, the original fragrance, all of this comes from the Supreme. And Prabhupada writes, when the Lord says He is the heat and fire, Prabhupada explains how without fire we cannot run any of our factories. We cannot cook. So that fire is also Krishna's energy. The heat in the fire and the light from the fire is also Krishna. And if there is no fire in your belly to help you with your digestion, then you have a lot of digestive problems. So if you don't have adequate fire supplied by Krishna, you have problems with digestion. So Prabhupada is writing that in Krishna consciousness, we become aware that earth, water, fire, air, and every active principle, all chemicals and all material elements are due to Krishna. Prabhupada also writes that the duration of a man's life is also due to Krishna, because Krishna says he is the life of all that lives. So if the Paramatma is not pervading the universe, the Jivatma cannot survive on his own. So that means the principle of life itself is coming from Krishna. Therefore, Prabhupada writes, by the grace of Krishna, a man can prolong his life or diminish it. So essentially, Krishna consciousness is active in every sphere. We may not recognize Krishna's presence in everything and everywhere, but Krishna is there. And if you recognize it, that is Krishna consciousness. So even the ascetics or the sadhus who may practice very difficult, extreme austerities for the purposes of self-purification, Krishna says they cannot perform those austerities unless I give them the power to do so. So their capacity to do penance for the sake of purification of themselves, that capacity, that ability comes from the Supreme. So there are many sages who live only on air. Some live only by drinking water. Some live just by eating a few leaves. So all this capacity to perform these kind of extraordinary austerities, ultimately it comes from Krishna. So all the different abilities that are there in different people, all of it is originating from Krishna. And life and death is also not in our hands. So His Grace Chaitanya Charan Prabhu says, when a person is ill, a doctor treats that sickness, but it is God who actually heals. The doctor can only treat, but whether that person gets healed or not is in the Lord's hands. So the doctor can do surgery, he can give you medicines, but ultimately whether that medicine acts on you versus another person, that is based on the Lord's mercy. So the result, the doctors shouldn't think because they have treated the patient got well. There is another factor involved, which is the Supreme. So that explains why for the same medicine everybody is not cured. For the same disease, death may come faster and some people just may beat the doctor's diagnosis of cancer. Sometimes the doctor will say you have only 6 months to live, and that patient has lived on for many, many, many more years beyond 6 months. So the actual cure, the healing principle, is actually coming from the Supreme Lord. So there's nothing in our hands. We can only act. The results is what the Lord deems fit for us.